Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our show. I'm your host, Tyson, and as always, we're here with my lovely wife, Marta, the creator of How to Be a Better Restaurant Customer and Inspiring Author. How are you doing today, Marta?
Good, Tyson. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome.
Well, let's get right into it. This week's post is going to be about. Uh, why don't you tell your guests about this particular post? What's the name of it?
Well, it's called If You Don't Tip Us and We Feed the Elephants.
Okay.
And basically, it's kind of like as it sounds. If you don't tip us, then we're making peanuts.
Okay, now I get it. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, why don't you tell our viewers and your RCs about the tipping process and how you all get paid and how it kind of differs from, I guess, the pizza delivery guy, which you tip him, or say, for instance, even your hairdresser, so they have a better understanding of what they should leave a tip.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, first of all, like for instance with a hairdresser, then if it costs $60 to get your hair done, the hairdresser is making however much they're making out of that. But it's significantly more than a server makes, which is $2.65 an hour. So then anything you tip the hairdresser is extra on, a lot more than the $2.65 an hour that servers make. With pizza delivery, it's kind of the same thing. They make, from what I understand, at least minimum wage per hour. They also get some kind of gas reimbursement for mileage on their car, and they get the tips that you're giving them.
Right.
So they do pretty well with that. The thing about servers is that servers make $2.65 an hour. That's what we make, and then we make tips. So we really need our RCs to tip us for good service.
Okay. What were some of the other points you had on this particular topic?
Well, I wanted people to understand that, server checks are really small, paychecks, I mean.
Okay.
We get paid, pretty much every 2 weeks, like most jobs. Some servers might get paid once a week. But with the checks, and what happens is you're making, as I said, $2.65 an hour. That varies around the country a little bit, but that's pretty much the average or the norm.
Okay.
Now, they add up the amount of tips that you make. You have to claim those through the computer. The IRS expects you to claim all the tips you make.
Don't I know it?
So, they add up the amount of tips that you made, and they figure out, the taxes on that, and then they take it from the $2.65 an hour. What that means is that a server's paycheck generally ends up being about $50, $60,
Okay.
and that's not a lot to survive on. So
No,
obviously you need your tips.
Right. Okay.
So that's one of the major points that I have in that blog. Now, something else that I think that people need to understand that I'm not sure if people are aware of is a concept called tip share. A lot of restaurants employ tip share. One thing I want to say right off the bat is that there are people, I've had comments on my website, I've seen this said around the, internet on these types of sites. People say, well, why do we have to tip altogether? Why don't the restaurants just pay the servers more?
Okay.
Pay them $8, $9 an hour or more, and then that way we don't have to worry about this tipping thing.
Yeah, it would be more convenient. So,
Sounds like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, the thing about it is that the prices at, your favorite restaurant, you might not think that they're as affordable as you'd like them to be, but they are at the level they're at because restaurants can pay their servers $2.65 an hour, and then the servers get compensated in tips.
Okay.
If they paid servers more, then the prices would be more.
Oh.
But something that people don't know is that a lot of the other kind of front of the house staff, and by front of the house I mean anybody that you see in the restaurant, not the cooks or the people in the back of the house. The front of the house people like the host staff, the bussers, the bartenders, they lots of times get paid a small wage as well. It's a little more than the servers, but usually maybe $1 more, so maybe $3.65 an hour.
Okay.
The rest of their income comes from tip share. And tip share is where the restaurant, they know how much the server sold in total, food and beverages that night. So let's just say that I sold $500 worth of food and beverages.
Okay.
They're going to take 3% of my total sales from me. That's $15 on $500.
Okay.
They're going to take that. I owe that to the restaurant, regardless of if I get any tips that night.
Oh wow.
What they do with that $15 is they take that with the other $15, or maybe it's $12 or $20 or however much the tip share came up to for each of the other servers on that night. They put it all together and distribute it to the front of the house employees that night. The bartender, the hostess, and that kind of thing.
Okay.
But as I said, they're going to take that from me regardless.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't realize that if you don't tip me, it costs me money to wait on you.
Right. Yeah. I never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
So, on a $500 night, they expect you to make how much money?
Well, they tell us that they expect that we made at least 10%, which on a $500 night would be $50. And, the people out there might be thinking that's not bad, but you're forgetting about the $15.
Right.
So take the $15 from that 50, and I've made $35 on like a 7-hour shift.
I mean, with $50 for an 8-hour shift isn't really that much anyway. So
Not at all.
not at all.
So.
Yeah, so I see your point here, and it's good because your customers may not know this.
Right.
So this may be exactly what your website has been designed to do. Make a person a better restaurant customer.
Absolutely.
So okay, well, are there any other points that you wanted to make about this particular post?
Well, I would like to say that honestly, that 10%, like we just covered, is not really good. The kind of average or acceptable norm for good service should be 15%.
Okay.
So if your bill comes to like $40, you should be leaving your server at least $6 if the service was good. More if it was fantastic.
Right.
Certainly, if there were legitimate problems with the server, then I'm not saying that you have to leave 15% no matter what. But if it's good service, then you need to leave 15%.
Okay. That sounds great. Well, you know what? I know that they left a comment, another anonymous comment.
Yeah.
This particular comment, in my opinion, was a little snooty, a little disrespectful towards you and some of your fans out there, some other servers, as you will. And I was wondering if you could tell our viewers exactly what this anonymous person said, and what was your response to it?
Oh, sure. Well,
or her.
This exactly is anonymous, so we don't know if it was a guy or a girl, but this particular comment was not very nice. And I just, I think it's so funny how people leave anonymous negative comments. It's like they don't have the guts to, fess up to the fact that it was their opinion, and put their name with it. But this person said that, first of all, that tipping was charity, in their opinion, that it was absolutely unnecessary, that they never tip, and that they think that tipping is charity. And also they said that, servers are basically people without the education to do anything better.
Really?
Yeah, they said that, and I just...
Shame on you.
Absolutely. I just couldn't believe that someone would have that kind of an attitude.
Okay. All right.
So,
well,
basically...
What was your response to him?
Or
her, I keep saying him.
Right, exactly. I was doing the same thing, and it very well could be, a female with this kind of attitude, but it's somebody, and I was very upset. And one of the main reasons that I was so upset is that a lot of my viewers, a lot of the people on the Facebook page are students. They're students that are paying their way through school by serving. So this person, they don't even know what they're talking about. They're saying that these servers don't have a good education. Most of them are trying to get a good education. That's why they're serving.
Right.
So that made me very upset, and I made sure to say that to this person in my rebuttal,
Well, yeah, it's one of the best jobs to have when you have to work full-time and go to school full-time, because it's very flexible.
Right.
And in today's economy, serving people who have MBAs and bachelor's degrees and PhDs have lost their jobs. One of the fastest jobs to get in the industry is a restaurant job. It's a revolving door. So I really don't think this person has any idea what he's talking about.
Absolutely. And another point that I made, that's a very good point, and another thing that I added is that several years ago I worked with a lady, and she was a psychologist, and she was working at my restaurant on the weekends, making $300-400 a week, extra cash.
Right.
Hey, that makes a lot of sense to me. But she wasn't a person who was uneducated.
Right,
So
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, shame on you.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to your fans before we go?
Just, thanks for continuing to watch, to read, to listen, to support. Thanks for sharing with your friends and getting them onto the site. I'm always going to stand up for you guys when somebody makes a comment like that. And like I said, even though I'm not personally a student, I took it personally because a lot of you guys are. So I just love you guys so much, and I just appreciate the support, and just keep on doing what you're doing. Servers are awesome. Students are awesome. We're all awesome, and the site is awesome, www.howrc.com. Yay.
All right. Well, as always, it's been good talking with you.
You
I
too,
look forward to
Tyson.
next time.
Yay, me too.
So all you fans out there, keep watching, keep supporting, and don't worry, Marta's got your back.
Yay! I
Till
love
next
you.
time.
God
God
bless.
bless.